draw 1, untap 2 when you flip over. The flipped over side is what's awesome. You gain crit when you have 2 Namekians on board, and when he swings, obviously you draw 1 like most leaders, but he'll plus 1 of your guys on board by 5k. So not only is he like providing critical pressure, but he's also making your board presence a little stronger. Really good leader, definitely my favorite one for Namekian shenanigans. Let's put our Namekians up top. We got 1-drop Gift of Power Guru. Now, most of the Namekians in this deck, you never want to hard cast. You have ways to play them without paying for their energy cost. The 1-drops in here are kind of exempt to that rule sometimes, especially the Dende Searcher. But keep in mind, the heart and soul of this deck, which honestly I'm going to go over first because it is how the deck operates and plays. We got 4 Planet Namek, and like I've seen lots of different counts of this. I've seen 3, I've seen 2. You have to run 4 of this card if you're playing Namekians. Playing these monsters or creatures or whatever you want to call them without or for their full energy cost, you're not nearly getting the same value as you would if you're using Planet Namek to filter your deck. Your thinning deck, you get a selection of what you're going to play. It's not just what's in your hand. And you're fueling Overwhelm, which is important in here. So Planet Namek is the quote-unquote playstyle of this leader, in my opinion. Feel free to correct me in the comments, but yeah, that's how this deck is built. That's how the leader is played. You're never paying more than 1 energy for anything in this deck. Straight up. If you paid more than 1 energy, you're playing the deck wrong. That's all there is to it. We run 4 of the 1-drop Newfound Power Son Gohan. When he swings, he takes a life, helps you awaken, and gains critical. So it's 15k crit on the swing. Really good. Good pressure, good self-awaken. I chose him over the self-awakening Namekian because that Namekian's a 3-drop. Requires 3 Namekians on board or something crazy. And he's not critical, so it's not the same pressure. Critical is a big theme in this deck, you'll see. Between the leader, this guy, and a couple others we run. So we never want our opponent to see the cards from their life that we're the damage we inflict. The exception being the unawakened side, because we just have to swing to generate card advantage. But yeah, we always want to hit them with crit whenever possible. We run 3 full power energy because of the meta, because 1-drops are so powerful right now that being able to kill one can halt your opponent's turn. For example, playing against Blue Yellow Rush, if you can kill their 1-drop Bardock and they don't have another copy, they're not going to be able to extend their turn from that point. Our other 4 negates are Sacrifice, which all it does is negate, no additional effect, but it allows you to pay for its cost by taking a life. So we actually have 8 ways to awaken ourselves between the Sacrifice and the Gohan. And our last extra card is Special Beam Cannon. Now, this card's underrated because it's underutilized or improperly utilized. While it's great for being a 10k discard one, it's even better when you're using it on Piccolo's awakened side offensively. So usually what I'll do is once I'm awakened, 1 of my energy per turn is being used for one of these. Like I just mentioned, it's a plus 10. Your opponent randomly discards a card, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so I've actually had turns where I'll play 2 in a turn, and I've hit 2 super combos, because I was like, yo, this guy's hand, it's low. Let me see what I could hit. And I ended up hitting 2 super combos that he was counting on to refill his hand, and then won the game that same turn. Really good. Avoid using it defensively. I cut it down from 4 to 3 because I was seeing it a bit too much. Don't be afraid to charge 1. You only want to use 1 or 2 a game, so that's why I said 3. Alright, let's get to our Planet Namek targets first, or no? Let's finish up just the support cards, more or less. We're running 4 super combo, which they are 2 drops. Oh, I didn't even mention Planet Namek checks the top 5 and grabs a 2 or less. So worst case scenario, you can play a super combo off of Planet Namek. Utilize the super combo's body on board to activate the bond ability of your leader or your other bond attackers, and then combo him off. So great utility. The only deck where playing a super combo isn't a meme. For our other support cards, we run 3 Dark Temptation Toa, another card that lets us control our opponent's hand like this. Dark Temptation Toa says is a free overwhelm, so you just banish at least 3 cards from your discard, and she'll plus your leader by 5 and force your opponent to discard a card. So really great on all counts. A 15k swing, helps your leader swing go through, and controls their hand. The perfect overwhelm card for this deck. I don't think I would run anything else in here. And then to supplement our critical attackers and to eventually help us go for game, we run 3 of the Furthering Destruction Champa. Because if you notice, once I go through here, we don't run any double strikers. So this is our only double strike. You want to conserve these as much as possible. You want to activate 2 per game, at least. One's going to be a surprise critical double strike, and the other's going to be to go for game. Other than that, single strike crit, name of the game with this deck. Alright, so next up, and this is the heart and soul of the deck, these are our targets for Planet Namek. Now, obviously, we have Gift of Power Guru and Kind-Hearted Namekian Dende, but these are the less than ideal targets. We want to hit our powerful 2-drops. Gift of Power Guru will buff one of our Namekians by 5, so that's nice, but if we can help it, we want to hit our 15k crit speed attack Piccolo Jr. Simple card, but super effective in what he does. We have Namekian Duo Purina. He'll actually, you put a Namekian from your hand underneath him, he draws a card and becomes 20k critical. Super, super powerful. These 2, I would say, are the main attackers as far as our like Planet Namek targets. And then we have these guys, which they don't have critical, but they allow us to refill our hand. We're only running 3 of the Piccolo Jr. Driven to Fight because he's only 10k. So yeah, he's swinging and drawing you a card, but he's only 10,000. As opposed to Nil, who goes up to 5,000 when he swings and does the same thing, draws a card. Keep in mind, for these 2, you need another body out. So whether it's a 1-drop Gohan or a Dende or something, to activate their abilities, that's what Bond is. You need a Bond 2 Namekian. So himself and one other Namekian. Oh, wait, no, I lied. This guy needs Bond 2 Namekian. This guy is just Bond 2. So you can activate Nail off of a Gohan. You need another Namekian to activate Piccolo Jr. But that's pretty much the deck. I'm gonna grab some cards, show you how a couple turns would go, to give you an example of how the deck likes to play. Yeah, give me just a second here. So, ideal turn 1, we have a Planet Namek in hand, and we're going first. So we're gonna... Oh, good thing to point out is if you see 2 Planet Nameks in your opening hand with this deck, you're keeping one and charging one. So don't be... And if you have 3, keep that 3rd, because you could charge that next turn or something. I doubt you're gonna see 3, but yeah. Turn 1, that's all you do. They go whatever... the following turn, 1 energy is always going to be used for Planet Namek. Other than that, you can charge either a 2-drop Namekian, or if you're not playing against aggro, I find myself charging my full power energies a lot, because killing 1-drops isn't that important in most matchups. Just having a sacrifice is more than enough most of the time. So I'll charge one of these too. But yeah, so you charge these guys. You're gonna start your turn by tapping for Gohan. for example. Because you want to Namek as late in the turn as possible. After you've seen as many cards as possible, and after you know exactly how and where you're gonna push. So first you swing with Gohan, you take a life, 15k crit. They either have to defend it, take it, or combo out of it. Like, you're either making him waste a negate, making him waste cards out of hand, or forcing a life out, which all three is great. You can save leader swing at this point if you want to just go into potentially like a nail or something, because you don't want to give them an extra card off the 10k swing. Once they realize you're playing crit, they're going to take the leader swing every time, because they know, like, oh crap, the crits are coming for me, let me take the normal swings. So yeah, turn 2 you probably have a Gohan and a Nail out. Where's Nail? Yeah. So Nail will draw you a card, Leader will draw you a card. So you each attack basically drew you a card. The Gohan took you one from life, this draws a card, that draws a card. So while the deck can survive with low hand size, you do have ways to refill your hand. Say they kill both of these on their turn. Alright, that's fine with us, because we're gonna be ready to go into our Toa this turn. So we charge a Namekian, and start our turn by using a Dende. And Dende gets us a super combo, hopefully. So just like, you start to see how easy it is to conserve energy around turn 3. You tap 1 for the for Namek and grab this guy. So like, if you were planning on playing this guy and you had only one Namekian in hand, you wouldn't charge this Namekian. Great thing to take note of, because I have had it happen to me in games where I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have charged that Namekian, even though it seemed like a good play, because you do need to have one to place underneath him. He'll go up to 20,000 critical and draw you a card. At that point, you're pressuring with him, and then again, if you're not playing against aggro, you could play another Gohan at this point, maybe a Gift of Power Guru even, to give that extra power to your Purina. Now, playing against aggro, you're not playing Planet Namek turn 1, and you're keeping your full powers and sacrifices as much as possible, and just defending anything important. You can take swings here and there, but you got to be really careful against aggro. Oh yeah, on this same turn that you did these things, you could also play one of these, make him pitch a card, buff your leader, and then swing with 15k. So the deck really does function well. The only problem is it doesn't have enough threats to actually be meta. And you could play the 4-drop Kami's Power Piccolo, but it's a dead card the majority of the time. And are you really paying 4 just for a double striker in this deck? Why not just pay 1 for the Furthering Destruction Champa? So I love the deck to death. I want to make it work. I would love your input as viewers, as players of the game, because this leader is my favorite. This character is my favorite. Help me make him competitive. Thank you all for tuning in. That's going to be it for today. Check us out. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Empanada Sessions. Signing off.